I can't believe how fast this fantasy baseball season is just flying by. We're already headed into the All-Star break, and next week marks the start of the second half of the season. The All-Star break is one of the best times all year to make waiver wire moves, especially if you're looking for stash candidates, because teams will often delay a player's return if they're close, using the break to give them a few extra days to rest, recover, and hit the ground running in the second half of the season. So in today's video, we're going over the best stash candidates and waiver wire ads to help set your team up for success in the second half of the fantasy baseball season. Like it, hype it, bang it. I'm Chris, and welcome to Number 2 Sports. So first up, we'll keep this quick because we have recently talked about this power hitting lefty a couple weeks ago, and at the time, I didn't really understand why the Mariners weren't giving him a bigger opportunity to hit lefties, to hit southpaws on the bump. Well, maybe, the GM just watches Number 2 Sports on the weekend, because they've now came out and said that Canzone is going to be seeing regular playing time against left-handed pitching moving forward. Whew. I definitely think this makes Canzone more of an attractive ad, even if this does lower his batting average by, say, 15 to 20 points, because he's just going to have more at-bats, he's going to get more opportunity for counting stats, and then also you just have the ability to confidently slot him into those weekly lineup locks, regardless of the pitchers that he's facing that week. I'm very intrigued to see how Canzone is going to fare against regular at-bats against lefties going forward. And if it's not a drastic dip in all his stats and all his underlying power metrics, Canzone could literally just be like a must-roster guy for 12-team leagues moving forward and to close out the second half of the year. And I don't think that's my Mariner bias talking. Oh, maybe just a little bit. Everybody always wants more of a deep league ad and more of a deep league suggestion. So here's going to be a deep league ad to right smack you up right on the ass behind you here. It's someone that's just had to battle all year for consistent playing time in that Miami Marlins outfield this year. Could be coming into some more consistent playing time in the near future here with Owen Casey's injury straining his calf. I don't know how serious it's going to be. We'll have to see what it looks like as we near the end of the All-Star break. But up next, we have Alberto Hernandez, the right-handed hitting power hitter from the Miami Marlins. So Hernandez made his MLB debut last summer sporting a 266, 347, 438 triple stash with 12 doubles and 10 home runs over an 87-game stint. While Hernandez was downright kind of awful, tragic to begin his 2026 season, carrying a gross 162 average and a 468 OPS. If your OPS is below 500, there's some real issues here over his first 26 games. He since then has really emerged as like one of the top power hitters in that Miami Marlins lineup on a nightly basis. Since the middle of May in his last 36 contests, Hernandez has carried a 286, 341, 661 triple stash with a stellar 1.002 OPS, 6 doubles, and has mashed 12 home runs. He now has 12 home runs in just 189 at-bats, and it's really been an unbelievable turnaround since being recalled from AAA on May 7th. Looking at some stats, he has an expected WOBA of 371, 30 points higher than his actual. He has an expected slugging percentage of 521, 45 points higher than his actual. He has an expected batting average of 267, which, yes, you guessed it, is roughly 40 points higher than his actual. Hernandez is hitting the ball hard 51.1% of the time, has an average exit velocity of 92.4 miles per hour, good for the 90th percentile in the entire MLB, and he's getting a barrel on the baseball 11% of the time. His pull-heavy approach with a pull air percentage of 22% and his insane bat speed at 75 miles per hour could really help push his power to potentially new heights. Shout out Travis and Jason Kelsey. They paid me massive bucks for that quick shout out there. He also makes solid contact in the zone, and since the middle of May, really, the only thing that's held him back is playing time. And like we said at the beginning of this segment, with Casey going down with an injured calf, this really could potentially open the door for Hernandez to potentially run away with a full-time gig and just see how real this power actually is. I'm actually into Hernandez in deeper 12-league teams right now just to see if any of this is real. We always want to chase upside, especially going into the second half of the season. You want to see if he continues to hit well, if he can continue to hit for power, and if he can get some more consistent playing time. I'm intrigued to see how he's going to look over the next few weeks here. Up next, we have another guy that we have talked about actually as a stash when he got his huge payday when he's in the minor leagues, just trolling around. That's going to be Luis Lauer from the Milwaukee Brewers. So he's up now, and I still don't know how much playing time he's actually going to get. The power probably will be just suspect at best, but the speed and contact is just legitimately real. The Brewers are a legitimate great organization, and he's not a bad fleer at all, just to see what the playing time will be and see if he can consistently get on base enough for that speed to play and make a real impact for 12-team leagues to close out the year. I don't have a ton of faith in it, But there's definitely worse options in your waiver wire if he's still floating around there, just to see if something sticks with him and if he can make an impact over the summer months. All right, and we'll keep it going with an absolute banger guy who's swinging a red hot bat right now. Another guy that we did mention way back when he first got called up for when he first debuted as potentially like a league winning type ad. He's went through his fair shares up and downs, but he's really starting to come into his own lately. Mr. AJ Ewing from the New York Mets. So Ewing has just emerged as the Mets leadoff hitter lately. He's been on a hot streak with multi-hit games in 3 of his last 5 as I'm recording this at least. He has 3 home runs and 1 swipe. He's only hit 7 home runs on the year, so practically doubled his home run total this week. But given he's only 21 years old and seemingly kind of like on a superstar trajectory here, it wouldn't be surprising to see more of a power surge in the second half of the year over the summer months. But even if it doesn't, I still think he'll be an OBP machine, show some speed, and be able to pile up the counting stats, batting in front of Bichette and Soto on a nightly basis. Ewing is ranked 39th in the last month, with all his expected stats better or pretty much the same as his actuals. His rolling expected WOBA is heading in the right direction, up, and a manageable but improving strikeout rate of 25%. Ewing could just legitimately be poised for a massive second half and should be rostered on way more 12-man leagues right now. 28% roster rate in Yahoo is just downright crazy, boys. What are we doing? Okay, I'm going to keep it brief with this next one. It's a little dirty one. It's a little stinky one. I don't even think I'm going to bust out a nameplate for him because I just don't think it's really worth chasing at all, at least right now. And that's going to be Tyler Tolbert from the Kansas City Royals. Now, congrats to him. Kudos to him. Awesome achievement, tying a major league record with hits in consecutive plate appearances. Like, absolutely unbelievable 3-game stretch for your boy Tolbert. Insane and almost unbelievable, really, to see in today's MLB. 12 hits in a row in 12 consecutive at-bats is just crazy work. From a fantasy baseball perspective, if we look outside of that little 3-game sample there, he's done like practically nothing else. And he has a 436 BABIP. His expected stats are like drastically different than his actuals. I actually had to double look at because I thought it was a mistake. They're that big of a difference here. And the power metrics are basically nothing. I feel like I'm hating on the guy and it feels unfair. He will give you some speed, but without like consistent playing time in that Kansas City Royals lineup and pretty much nothing else, I just don't think we need to chase this at all, boys. And I would definitely spend my fab elsewhere. All right, let's get back to somebody exciting. Back to somebody who has a lot of potential juice here. So next up, we have another Colorado player, someone that we haven't talked about yet, someone that's new this year. I don't really know what's going on that we're highlighting Colorado players. It seems like left, right, and center each week, like guys that are worth using both home and away, which is kind of wild. And this guy has been one of the better hitters since June 1st. Welcome to the main waiver wire section, Kyle Karros from the Colorado Rockies. So now Karros has spent the entire 2026 season with the Major League roster this year, really not doing much at all in the first couple months of the year. In his first 55 games, he posted a 208, 308, 308 triple stash with just 3 home runs and only 7 doubles. He was on absolutely nobody's radar outside like the deepest of leagues. However, though, since the end of May, Karros has just looked way better at the dish, and over his last 40 contests, he's rocked a 342, 436, 649 line with 10 doubles, 7 home runs, 28 runs scored, and a 1.085 OPS. Karros has a 17.1 K percentage over this stretch, and it's a massive improvement compared to his 23.8% he held in the previous 55 games. Karros has just been smacking the tits out of that baseball, hitting it hard 50% of the time. His average exit velocity is 90.3 miles per hour. He's walking 12% of the time, and his expecting batting average is hover around a great 280. His bat speed has also increased a little bit this year. He does have an average pull air percentage, but again, he's only 23 years old in just his second season in the MLB, so there's definitely room for improvement. One of the main reasons to his recent success, I think Karros has just been showing steady improvement against fastballs is an expected wOBA, and that's a big thing because pitchers will always challenge you with fastballs until you prove you can hit them, and he's proving that he can hit them lately. He has the third highest OPS since May 29th, only trailing PCA and Luis Garcia Jr. The guy is just straight mashing lately. And while I do think he's obviously going to cool down somewhat, his expected stats are lower than his actuals, and he's running a fairly high BABIP at 319, but it's not that bad considering half his games are at Coors, and usually their BABIPs run a little bit higher in that altitude there. I do think he's worth chasing right now just to see where this hot streak is going to end up settling, because as you know, you want any piece of a productive hitter playing half their games at Coors Field throughout the hot, dry summer months. Okay, and last up in the main waiver wire section, there's maybe something here. There could be something here. Picking up multi-hits left, right, and center, doing his best 2025 Jacob Wilson impression, bouncing between second base, third base, and shortstop, we have the 23-year-old prospect Joshua Kuroda Grauer from the Athletics. So his major league promotion wasn't like super hype anything, despite hitting 323, 367, 478 across AA and AAA this year. I don't think he'll hit for a lot of power in the major leagues, as he only had one home run in the minors. The max exit velocity was 110.4 miles per hour though, but on average it was just 87.3. So maybe there's something hidden on there that he can unlock in the major leagues, and maybe as he gets a bit more adjusted and a bit more stronger. Joshua does just make a ton of contact though, with a 94.4% zone rate in AAA. He just doesn't whiff and he just doesn't strike out. And those three attributes have carried forward so far to his short MLB career, with a 6% whiff percentage and a 6% strikeout rate, and an expecting batting average over 317. He has a very aggressive swing approach too, which really makes those high contact percentages even more impressive, at least in my opinion. Joshua KG is the first player in 18 years, if you can believe it, with 15 hits and 2 or fewer strikeouts in his first 18 games. Now, do I think he's going to continue for a 500 batting average? No, of course, and I don't leave him in fantasy land, or I'd be married to Sidney Sweeney. But Joshua has started the last 8 games in a row here, and the A's actually did send down Max Muncy, so playing time should be able to be a little bit more steady here, at least in the near future. This is most certainly deep league shit here again. If you need hits, OBP, or some speed and batting average, I think Joshua KG could definitely be your guy. And I'm just super curious. I'm super interested to see how he's going to look over the next few weeks, if he can continue just to keep up with these insane hit totals after a return from the All-Star break. Okay, now let's go over some players to stash you over the All-Star break who could potentially be a big boost to your lineup when they return in the near future when baseball resumes here. So the first player up, we have AJ Smith-Shawher from the Atlanta Braves. Now, he's had 2 rehab starts already. He's pitched 7 innings with 5 hits, 1 earned run, 0 batters walked, and 9 Ks between low A. And he's going to start in his next start in AAA on Saturday, July 11th. His fastball's up to 100 miles per hour. His curve's at 78 miles per hour, and splitter's looking nasty at 84. And he also has a slider around 87 to work out a very workable 4-pitch mix. He had a lead extension, at least in 2025, at 6.8 feet. And some of his pitches last year in 2025 were just like downright disgusting. Like, look at this one with 22 inches of horizontal break. Like, what even is this? Is he throwing a wiffle ball, or what is that? Smith-Shawher has made 16 major league appearances, 15 starts, all with the Braves from 2023 to 2025. He has a 3.77 ERA, a 1.30 whip, and a 223 batting average against in that time frame. If the velo increases that we've seen and the pitch movement increases that we've seen hold in this rehab start when he's back into the majors, I think AJ Smith could legitimately take a step forward in 2026, and I like him as a stash in all deep league teams for the second half of the fantasy baseball season. Okay, and we'll keep going with another stash, and again, these are going to be stashes that are probably available in most of your guys' leagues here, so I wanted to talk about people that you could actually potentially stash on your teams that are going to be available in your waiver. And we're going up next with Jackson Jobe. Now, in his first rehab start today, or at least when I'm recording this on July 7th, he went 1.1 innings with 2 hits, 1 run, 0 walks, and 1 K. He only had 4 whiffs, but his 4-seam fastball actually averaged 98.8 miles per hour and peaked at 100.2. Again, that would be like a massive increase, either one of them, if that velo holds when he gets back to the majors. He has a 5-pitch mix with a 4-seamer, slider, changeup, sinker, and curveball. He's still only 23 years old, so there's lots of growth left to be had in his game. The slider looks like it has some nice 2-plane movement to it, and it was 89 miles per hour in his last rehab start. Like, just look at these pitches here. He's definitely going to have a long road back coming back from Tommy John surgery, and we do know usually pitchers, you see the better results, or at least improved results back to their career norm the second year removed from TGS. So we'll have to see what he's going to look like in 2026. But deep leagues, anything with the pulse is worth stashing if you have that open spot. And Jobe was like one of the most hyped young pitchers in the league before his injury. So like, really, why not? No harm, no foul. Just a free IL stash, baby. Woo! Okay, and these next 3 I'm just going to rattle off quickly here because they're obviously not for deep leagues. They're definitely going to be for shallower leagues or potentially leagues with no IL spots or really limited IL spots. So you want to double check to see if Blake Snell's floating around there. I think we're going to see him shortly after the All-Star break. And then Vinny Pasquantino from the Kansas City Royals. I know he was kind of dog water ass up to this point, or up to at least his injury, but I definitely think he has all the power tools. He has all the underlying skills to really go on a heater in the second half of the year in those summer months. So definitely give him a look. And then also Corey Seager. I don't know what's up with his back, but we know what we can do when he's healthy. The Rangers have a lot to play for in the second half of the season, and I'm never just going to doubt it. I'm never going to put it past Seager just to end the season on a super big hot streak and carry a lot of teams to fantasy baseball championships if his back is okay. We are all over the place in this waiver wire video. I know it's a little different than our normal, regular, constructed waiver wire videos. But now we're going to go over a couple second half bounce backs, a couple guys that I think could be poised for a real good close to finish the year. And the first up is going to be Jared Jones. Now, Jared Jones, football's on my mind, boy. Go Cowboys. But literally what I said last video is if the Pirates will just unleash him in the second half, there's more than enough talent here to be like a universally rostered starting pitcher. Jones literally threw a perfect game through 6 innings with 8 Ks at only 77 pitches. But was pulled to start the 7th. If the training wheels do come off, the Pirates do let the training wheels off. I have no idea if they will. It is the Pittsburgh Pirates we are talking about here. Jones could just legitimately have immense upside potential in the second half of the fantasy baseball season. And if I say legitimately or legit one more time, I'm going to smack myself. Sorry, boys. And then another bounce back candidate who's actually been playing a little bit better lately, at least, that's going to be Luke Keeschall. Now, Keeschall has just simply been a major disappointment for fantasy managers this year. Expected to kind of have like superhuman contact rates and plate discipline to get on space and just steal a million bases and rack up the counting stats. It just hasn't happened at all for him this year whatsoever. But he has, like I said, played a little bit better in this last couple weeks. He's ranked 65th in his last 14. He's hit a couple home runs. He swiped some bags. There's absolutely no guarantee that he does turn around the second half, though. But you do see it all the time across really all sports, really, and their all-star breaks, where the all-star break sort of just resets things. I don't know what players do, but it gives them a break, maybe to work on something, maybe to tweak something. And a lot of players, even if they had a crappy start to the year, can finish strong and kind of salvage their year after the break. It's recap time. Did I f*** over your team this week? Stay tuned to find out. Okay, so recap time. We're going to recap my previous waiver wire video from July 4th. And first up, we had Cade Cavalli. So now when I saw the suspensions news and I saw the short rest and the heat for the game, I kind of knew it was going to be a potentially massive letdown spot for him. And it was. The velo dipped. He said after the game it was due to hydration and he was just battling the heat. But if the changes are still there after the break that we talked about in that video, I'll still be in. So time will just tell, I guess. And then next up, we had Valdez, and he just keeps on mashing for so much power. The whiff and K percentages are still insane. I just don't know how much longer he's going to keep getting away with it. But there's just no way you can leave him on any wire right now, regardless of league size or format. And then we'll keep going with Troy Melton, another guy, a repeat guy, and he just has to be rostered in every league and every format as well. And I just think he's going to continue to get better too. And then next up, we had Charlie Condom, which had some great comments about that nickname last vid. It made me chuckle, made me laugh. And yes, I know I do have the maturity of a 10-year-old. Who cares, man? He's still a great stash. Then we had Logan Henderson. And I said, remember, we never start a guy after a lengthy IL absence. It actually wasn't too bad. He kind of salvaged it. But I do think he'll have better starts going forward. He's just going to be just fine. And then we followed it up. We'll finish it up with Henry Bolte. So I'm still waiting for that real extended hot streak to show everybody that he's him. The skills and underlying talent are still there. We might see it in the second half. The upside still is crazy, but I just don't know. We'll have to wait and see, I guess. So just quickly looking this over here, I still think Cavalli was good. Valdez, obviously easy one, dunk it for free. Melton, another obvious layup one, absolute stud here. Charlie Condom, I still think is one of the better stashes besides my boy Cade Anderson. Logan Henderson's good. And then Henry Bolte, undecided. Maybe that could be a little bad. He didn't have the greatest week, but I still think it's average. We're adding this up. No way. No punishment, baby. But all right, guys, I think that's it for this video as we roll into the All-Star break. You know, it's crazy. Like, I obviously still do this as a hobby. Technically, I have my own regular 9-to-5 that I work, and I do dad life at night. But, like, with all the views that I'm getting lately, the subs, the support over the, I guess, the past year and a half now, it's like maybe giving me, like, some slight hope. Maybe unrealistic, even if it is realistic, that, like, maybe that this could turn into something more. And that's all to you guys. So thank you, guys. It's awesome. But regardless of that, I still love doing this shit, even if it doesn't turn to anything. I am 100% addicted. But it wouldn't even be a dream without you guys. So thanks again. Love it or hate it, everyone and everything is welcome. And like always, guys, I hope you have a good rest of your night, day, week, weekend, wherever you are. And I'll see you guys real soon.